So I'm back, and we're back for some more wheelchair girl route. If you're noticing, this is slightly different from where I last left off last time. I literally just clicked once by accident, so pretty much didn't move at all. Yeah, last time was fun. We did the to-do list, and we had a very heartfelt moment between Habane and Aoi, and even that moment between Adaha and Habane when they were arguing was pretty interesting. We got a lot of character development on Habane and the reason why she acts the way she does. That was pretty good. Also, we saw her nude in a bath. That was not bad. But let's just continue on. Hopefully, well, now we know that Aoi is even more determined to get Habane to stay if he can, even though he does understand why she wants to leave. So let's see if Aoi can do that for her. Also, it's kind of interesting that I believe like the game breaks off into routes, because it really seems, if this is like just the normal road right now, like it really seems like a heavy Habane route. So it's kind of weird to think about how you can branch off into different relationships just from this, since it already seems super heavily. So I'm pretty sure it is you choose your own route, you know, in comparison to like Fate, while you play through like one route, then the other route's unlocked, and the game itself changes. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's just start this off, shall we? At lunch break, Adaha and I were called to the staff room. It was because we both skipped school yesterday. When we honestly said that we were having fun, we got a really severe scolding from our homeroom teacher. Well, that can't be helped. I'm glad they didn't contact their parents. Adaha wasn't her usual cheerful self this morning. I mean, you're not completely wrong if you're just observing her, but obviously we know deep down why she's like that, so it does seem a little mean. But I don't blame her. Don't worry about it. Habane-san does understand your real intentions. Actually, she was regretting it too, that quarrel with Adaha. An ass kisser? I don't really see how she's an ass kisser, but... You don't kiss up to people though, do you? Now that she mentions it, Adaha gets along with everyone, but doesn't look like she has any particularly close friends. To be honest, I thought it was a little strange. I was the same. I got along with colleagues from the cycling racing club, but unlike with you guys, I couldn't just talk with them about everything. I guess that was a question of adolescence. I also hadn't spent the same amount of time with them. Adaha, the others, and I were neighbors as long as we remembered, and became each other's very first friend. If there was anyone else who I got along with, idiot, moron, knucklehead, all the verbal abuse suddenly sprung to my mind. Do we get along? That was him referring to Habane. Even if you weren't told to, you would have been worried about Habane-san anyway, wouldn't you? Habane-san was absent today as well. Adaha thought it was her fault and was blaming herself. When I woke up this morning, Habane-san had already left. There are signs that the kitchen had been messed up. Apparently she had been searching for the withdrawal notice that I had hidden. It was actually in the drawer in my room though. It's not your fault that Habane-san hasn't come to school. It's not just what I think, I'm almost completely certain. The truth is... Oh, looking around. I remembered that we were in the hallway of the school and took a quick look around. Nobody was passing by, so I didn't have to worry about anyone hearing that. Habane-san wants to quit school. It seems that she decided that quite a while ago, even before I returned here. Audra was surprised to hear this out of the blue and was left speechless. It's not because she argued with the girls in the class. There's a deeper reason for it. I think that it is also the reason for her recent behavior and attitude. Yeah, since she was planning to quit school soon, she thought it would just cause problems for us. Well, it's because you both misunderstood each other. Bam bam. Audra took her anger out by hitting me on my chest. Oh wow. I only found out by coincidence. Also, ouch. I can't just go around telling other people her secrets, can I? It was just a coincidence that I picked up the withdrawal notice. I didn't know when she was planning on submitting it or if she was even really serious about it. I couldn't exactly ask her about it either. Well, I think she's pretty serious about it. I love the sound effect. Okay, I'm sorry, that hurts. Seriously, stop punching me. Besides, I thought that she didn't want to quit school anymore. She had been coming to school, helping with the meal preparations at the dormitory, and it looked like she was enjoying herself. I just assumed that everything was fine now. Yeah, of course. I stroked Adraha's head to calm her crying a little. Anyway, today was Friday. It was the deadline of the grace period for the gathering club members given to us by the student council vice president Kumai Akari-san. What? After school I went with Adraha and one other person to the soaring club's garage. Including the club president, Amane-senpai, a total of 4 people were lined up. The vice president examined all of us one by one. Kanato. Oh, they got Kanato to join. A pain was clearly visible on the vice president's forehead. What do you mean? She's the new club member. Oh, so I did say a while back that they should just ask some of the girls in the dormitories. And of course Kanako would help since she's been a big help throughout the story. What? Thumbnail. Hopefully, that was it. Please explain. This is the tyranny of the school student council. Oh. What? Why does it keep bringing up sticky keys? No, I don't want sticky keys. Leave me alone. You two are in the same class? I guess they are in the same year. She drove Kanako-san away with a flat refusal. It seems that she was used to dealing with her.
他に部員は
No.
ということは廃部決定ですね。
No, we failed.
副会長、これ
Amane sheepishly passed her a printout. Those were the results of the Soaring Club's activities that she had compiled.
どうだろうか。ここ数年でフライトしたのは先日の一度きり。それも授業中という暴挙。大会を目指しているわけでもなく、学園祭にも不参加で作品や研究内容を発表する場も特に設けてはいない。極めて個人的な趣味の範疇ですね。これはいわゆるサークル活動ではありませんか？
Senpai?
素直に認めちゃダメです。ダメかな、副会長。どうしても行きたい場所があるんだ。
There was something that sounded like a desperate appeal in Amane Senpai's
行
voice.
きたい場所？イスカと約束したんだ。
The vice president watched Senpai silently for a short while, as if she was unable to weigh her true motive.
そうですね。部員は一人足らず3名。研究発表の場はない。とはいえ。
However,
あなたは
the vice president, who was about to say something very serious, looked behind us at the back of the garage.
ハバネさん。
To the rescue! Havane-san was there. She came in at some point.
返すものがあって。
She said to Amane Senpai,
私にかい？
"It's her diary, who would have thought?" However, Habane-san didn't come to us. She was beside the glider that had its sheet removed. She was looking slightly downwards at something lying on her lap. Amane-senpai walked over to her.
なんだい？これが完成すれば雲の上に行けるの？
Habane-san looked at the white, sleek aircraft, and then she held out one thing that was on her lap, a photograph. Oh, it's not the diary. Never mind. I was wrong.
行けるの？
When Amane-senpai saw this, she opened her eyes wide in surprise.
写真どこで？
Tears welled up in her eyes.
何なの？
No idea. Audra and I walked over there to take a look at the photograph that Habane-san was holding. It was a photo of the clouds. A sunset dyed in indigo and orange. Or was it sunrise? In the sky, beautifully dyed by clear morning glow, there was a huge long cloud. It was stretched like a cloister laid across the firmament. This must have been the passage of clouds.
綺麗。
Yeah. Audra and I, Kanako-san, and even the vice president were all fascinated by the miraculous spectacle shown on the photograph.
この場所に行けるの？
Habane-san asked again. For a moment, my mind couldn't make a connection between the question and the view in the photograph. That was because it was a place too far away to be associated with the word go. This
ここ
place.
に行くの？この雲の上に？
Love the soundtrack, by the way. It's so hypey. Riding this glider. I imagined this engineless white airframe inside the photograph, flying magnificently and gracefully across the solemn sky. That really was a miraculous sight. All of us, even Tanako-san and Akari-san, held our breaths waiting for Amane-senpai's answer. Can it go to this place?
行けるさ。
She murmured as she took the photograph and looked at it nostalgically.
ミスターがそう言ってたから。
Oh,
あの子は
Okay, I was thinking Isuka's the Anchan. But no, confirm not. Rip prediction. Amane Senpai, who had tears in her eyes until just now, smiled happily after saying this name. So it's probably Asuka's diary, maybe? She spoke hesitantly, without much confidence in her voice. However, her eyes showed a strong determination. Seeing those eyes, Amane Senpai answered. Yay, we're saved. Fade to white. Oh, maybe this was the... Was this the prologue? Damn. So this is probably where it starts to route off and stuff. You finally did an opening. Wow, that's a long prologue, right? That's like 6-7 hours. Usually not that long. There's her boy. Kind of forgot what he looked like, to be honest. Aww. Agaha Himedi. Asa Kazato. Hey, confirmed 2 people. Because our guy still thinks that they're one person for some reason. This is gonna be lazy, isn't it? Just from the coding overload. Oh, wow. A very happy song. I guess. Wow. Okay, so now we'll probably see the routing off. That was some prologue. God, ew, that transition. You can still come to the club if you want, Kanako. So I'm guessing those 5 are the girls with routes, which is interesting, I guess. I mean, Amane's and Agaha's route should be interesting, but we really don't know too much about the sisters. Ha.
嬉しそうに言わないでちょうだい。憎まれ役は望むところよ。私だけはあかりちゃんのことちゃんと分かってるからね。ありがとう。手を離してもらえるかしら。
That face, though. That's... Damn, we have a lot of thumbnail material, but I might just take something from the opening.
別に不機嫌になってなんかいないわ。ねえ、かなこさん。はいよ。あの転校生、何者なの？
It's your boy, Aoi.
寮母さん？寮母？いい子だよ。惚れた？
Yes.
バカおっしゃい。
Akari route confirmed. DLC.
転校してきたばかりで。
I'd want a Kanako route, to be honest. She's been a good character. Kari's cute too. Doe. That, yo, that face. Yo, why is this novel so good at drawing faces? For the 1,000,000th time. Stop doing straight transitions. I hate that. For the time being, the minimum number of members needed for the club has been reached. The vice president left the garage, together with Kanako-san. The rest of us continued to admire the photograph that Habane-san had brought.
綺麗な空。
But this cloud has a very unusual shape.
こんな雲見たことない。そうだろうな。この雲が出現したのは君たちや私が生まれるより前のことだ。私たちが生まれる前。
What on earth is this photograph? It was really beautiful. But the photograph itself was similar to the pictures in our old album. It was printed on the kind of paper you'd usually get if you had them developed by the local photo studio.
これはモーニンググローリーと呼ばれる現象だ。ある特殊な条件下で起こるとされている。
Morning glory cloud. The morning glory cloud is a rare meteorological phenomenon consisting of low-level atmospheric, whatever, yeah. Okay. It's a rare cloud. It looks insane though. I've definitely never seen this before. It's just like a line. A tube or something.
モーニンググローリー？さらに何キロにもわたって雲の道ができる。
A path that clouds like this several kilometers long.
とても珍しい現象で、一番最近起こったのが今から26年前。その時、当時のソアリング部の人たちがグライダーで飛び、この写真を撮影したんだ。じゃあ
This photo was taken in Kazagura?
うん、そうだが撮影したのここの OB？ ああ、そうだ。
To think that such an amazing spectacle occurred right here in my hometown and was photographed by a senpai from the club to which I now belong to myself. What I thought would be so distant suddenly turned out to be much closer, but it still didn't feel real.
ちょっと待って。
She looked like she just realized something important. What is it?
さっきグライダーで飛んで撮影したって言いました？言ったぞ。フライトログにそう書いてある。ってことは
Ida and I took another look at the photograph. To take a photo from this perspective, the camera has to be above the clouds. You can actually fly this high with the glider?
そうなるな。物的証拠も目の前にある。
Ida and I shifted our attention to the white aircraft. I didn't know how many meters high in the sky it was. I knew it wasn't just a fantasy. But when I imagined that aircraft soaring above the clouds, it seemed quite unreliable.
私がこの学校へ来る以前にソアリング部は廃部になり、設備だけがここに残されていた。この写真もここに残されていたものなんだが。
Amine-senpai took the photograph in her hand and looked at it
イス
fondly.
カはここへ行きたがってた。私とイスカはこの場所を目指してグライダー制作を始めたんだ。
Asuka. That name came up again. Whenever Amine-senpai talked about this person, she always became very wistful. Who was this Asuka?
これ
Habane-san, who was listening to our conversation in silence, held out a notebook to Amine-senpai. I thought I had seen it before. It was the notebook with the things I want to do list. Okay, so I was right. Store.
その写真はこれに
Oh,
挟
okay.
まっていた
Made
の。
sense.
これはイスカの高校日誌じゃないか。どうして君がこれを持っているんだ？寮の私の部屋にあったの。寮の部屋。もしかして君はトビウオ層に住んでいるのか？
Little surprised to hear that name all of a sudden, Habane-san nodded.
棚の隙間に隠してあったの。中は日記みたいだった。グライダーのこととあなたのことが書いてあったわ。私 だってあなたいつかの親友なんでしょ。
Amane-senpai didn't reply to anything. She just looked at the worn-out cover of the notebook.
それを読んで私グライダーに興味を持つようになったの。翼だけで風に乗って空を飛ぶ、まるで鳥のような飛行機。そんなので雲の上を目指すなんてすごいって思った。でももっとずっと昔のことだと思ってたから。日記の日付だとイスカたちはもうとっくに卒業してるはずだし、まだ続けてるなんて思ってもみなかった。
But if you're interested in gliders, why didn't you come to check out the Soaring Club? I asked casually. Actually, she was so interested in gliders that just seeing the real thing made her eyes sparkle. The owner of the diary might no longer be around, though.
それは
Habane-san tightly grasped the hem of her skirt.
私なんて入れてもらえないって。ハバネさん。
Listening to her words, I felt a dull pain coming from my right knee. It was a place where she couldn't enter. That's what she believed, and that's why she didn't try to find out about the current status of the Soaring Club. It might have been similar to how I tried to avoid hearing any information about the Bicycle Club after I injured my knee. The more I knew, the more envious I would become.
だからあの風車の丘で飛んでるグライダーを見たときは驚いた。すごく嬉しくて心臓がドキドキしたわ。
That was the time when Habane-san and I first met. In that peaceful landscape, she was enthusiastically watching over the white aircraft flying over.
そうだったのか。
When Amane-senpai heard Habane-san's story, she took a deep breath. Introduce
見ても
okay.
いいかい。
Amane-senpai put the notebook on the table, but didn't read it right away. First, she went to boil some water in the electric kettle. She prepared some tea. When the pleasant aroma of the black tea filled the air, Senpai sat down and finally turned to the first page. The shots, though. Her cheeks went slightly pink and her eyes seemed kind of nervous. Or is that the thumbnail? Senpai's eyes went over the page from left to right, slowly, carefully. It looked like she was digesting it one word at a time. She took a sip of the steaming tea. Then she placed the cup back on the saucer and turned to the next page. Senpai smiled. It's just something fun was written there. She was giggling, indulging herself in memories. The nervousness that was in her eyes when she was reading the first page had disappeared.
笑ってるね。
Yeah, it was a calm, happy smile. Or so we thought. That's a shot too. Goddamn, it'll be hard to choose. When she looked at the next page, her eyes opened wide. Something surprising must have been written there. From the look on her face, she seemed amazed as she continued to read. Amane-senpai's expression continued changing while she was turning the pages. She went from smiling to surprised to troubled to angry, then back to smiling. I want to see the angry face.
ねえ、どんなことが書いてあったの？ソアリング部の活動記録よ。と言ってもそのほとんどがただの日記だけど、イスカが大親友とどんな風に毎日を過ごしたか、それが汚い字と読みにくい文章で書いてあった。あまね先輩の大親友か。イスカさんってどんな人だったんだろう。かなり変な子よ。多分いたずらして誰かを驚かせたり、寮の食堂でパイ投げやったり。
But when you read it, it influenced you, right?
うん、楽しそうだったの。すごく。
We could tell by the look on Amane-senpai's face that Asuka-san's flight log was overflowing with funny stories. It was also a proof that the time they spent together was equally fun. When she approached what was probably the last page of the diary, Oops, did I just... Oh, I found the mute button. The single tear. Oh no, there's 2 tears. I lied. Amane-senpai's eyes gradually filled with tears. Whilst she was smiling, wistfully, a transparent drop ran down the corner of her narrowed eye.
何か悲しいことが書いてあったのかな。
But she's smiling.
詩は途中で終わってるわ。最後に書いてあったのはあれよ。やっておきたいこと。
The page that we were looking at.
雲の回廊を渡りたい。
Amane-senpai muttered quietly and then burst into tears while she was still smiling. Since she was smiling, she had to have been happy. Then I guess those tears were flowing because it was all in the past. Just looking at her made me feel a heart-rending pain, as if my chest was crushed. I'm feeling it a bit. Not too much though. After reading the last page, she closed the notebook and then went back to the first page. It was the 3rd time now. She still laughed, gasped, worried, and got nostalgic, as if this was the first time she was reading it. We quietly watched her as she repeated this again and again. The tea she had only taken 1 sip from was definitely cold by now, but it seemed like she had totally forgotten about it. You're right. There were so many things I wanted to ask her about, but it didn't feel like a good time to talk. Oof. As we left the garage, the sky was dyed with the color of sunset. With a deeper red than a sunset, the darkness of night approached from the eastern sky. Yeah. Arda seemed itching to do it. I felt the same way.
一度ロボット部に顔出してくるね。掛け持ちだから毎日は顔出せないけど。
You don't seem that busy, so it should be fine. It was great that she was with us, even if she was in another club. Sorry for all the trouble.
いいってことよ、相棒。
Party. Bam. She slammed my shoulder and turned to Habane-san, who was following us a little behind.
ハバネさん。昨日はごめんなさい。
Pa. Arda bowed her head very quickly.
別に謝ってもらうことなんてないと思うけど、私ハバネさんの事情何も知らなくて、なのに知ってるようなつもりであれこれ言って。
Yes, make up and be friends.
本当ごめんなさい。
Habane-san glanced at me. She must have realized that I told Araha about her wanting to quit school and so on.
わかればいいのよ。
She said and turned around, her head sideways, in an aloof manner. I walked determinedly towards Habane-san and... whack! I gave her a chop to the top of her head. What'd I do? Why do I keep pressing buttons? I don't mean to. From now on, every time you take on that dishonest attitude, I'm gonna give you a chop. Habane-san was taken aback. She glared at me like I was a demon or devil. Come on, there's something you want to say, right?
ごめんなさい。私も言い過ぎたわ。あなたは八方美人なんかじゃない。ちょっとうざいくらい親切なだけよ。
That's kinda better. Never mind. Whack! If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't learn anything. Rubbing her head, she shot me a hateful glare, then she turned away sullenly and rode ahead in her wheelchair.
すごいね、葵。ハバネさんみたいな美少女にチョップかますなんて。
Chop, such a pretty girl. Ada said this slightly dumbfounded.
じゃあ、私行くね。早いとこ、ハバネさんを追っかけてやって。
Yeah, see ya.
またね。
Ada went back towards the school building with light, skipping steps. On the way,
明日から面白くなりそう。
She shouted this in a loud voice. I caught up with Habane-san with a meek expression. She was quietly pushing her wheelchair along. Want me to push you? I didn't know how tiring moving a wheelchair was, but if I tried using my hands to travel the same distance I normally walk, it would be exhausting. I went behind her and pushed the wheelchair. I told you that I'll be helping you. I can't do it all the time, but whenever my hands are free, you can rely on me. There is. Because we're friends. Aw. I felt a little embarrassed as I said that. That was cute. I don't think I'd have been able to say that clearly if I hadn't been behind her. Didn't we hang out yesterday? That means we're already friends, right? Generally speaking, it would be correct to say so. Without any way to talk back, Habane-san kept her mouth shut. For a while, we followed the route back in silence. I'm not sure if I want to know or not. What matters is the fact that you are staying in the end. Sure. She wasn't going to throw it away. It seemed she was trying to say that she was actually a tough girl, but I can only see you as a crybaby. If I said that, she'd just get mad, so I kept quiet. Suddenly losing her resolve, she glanced back at me. Why me? That question came to my mind, but I didn't say anything. The fact that it was me made me quite happy, to be honest. That's fine, but I have one condition. Habane-san put her guard up. It looks like she thought I would make another unreasonable demand. Stop referring to me as you. You can call me by my first name. We're friends already. Would that be a problem? You don't think of me as your friend? I asked a little anxious. Aw, kun, huh? She bent forward, as if to say this is as far as she'll go. So you're going to hold back, Habane-san. Wait, I mean, Kotori? I don't know, don't start saying Kotori. I've been saying Habane for so long, it rolls off the tongue better. No good then, Habane. Really? Well then, Kotori. Habane-san, no, Kotori had a complex and mysterious expression, showing signs of dislike and embarrassment. We'll definitely go there, above the clouds. Cutesy. Thin clouds were hovering across the sunset. From now on, whenever we look up at the sky, we'll be thinking about this. I will fly. My heart was beating frighteningly quickly. It's dark. The squares. She's still reading. I wish I had that level of focus. Clatter. Oh my god. There's been so many square transitions. I disapprove. You're welcome.
君がつなげてくれたんだな。あの子たちをここへ連れてきてくれた。
Sure, why not? It looks like I can keep going. Just a little longer until the end of the summer. And that will be the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. Finally finished the prologue. It looks like at least our main problem so far has been resolved. I guess we still have the problem of keeping Habane wanting to go to school, but we'll deal with that eventually. And I guess another problem is actually getting the glider to work, but we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye!